Hello, Potato, and welcome to what I was previous to today calling Magic in the Mail. And, the reason I called it that originally was, of course, because we had a bag of stuff from Shop Disney that said, "You've got magic in the mail." And as time has progressed, and the New World has started to assert itself, less and less things are coming in the mail. And so it seems like a bit of a misnomer to keep calling it Magic in the Mail if stuff is coming from, say, Disney Store or Lego Store, instead of, Shop Disney or Lego.com. So, with that in mind, we are going to now start calling these Saturday episodes, when I do them, when appropriate, which has been, frankly, disturbingly often. I'm going to start calling them Weekend Magic. And today, for Weekend Magic, we have stuff from Shop Disney. Stuff from the Disney Store because they reopened on Tuesday. And stuff that's not from either. We've got Pops. We've got Minnie Mouse. We've got Haunted Mansion. We have other things. Keychains. Kitchen items. Why not? So, without any further ado, let's get into them. And I think we're going to start with the stuff that's from neither Shop Disney nor the Disney Store. We'll start with our just some of them are non-Disney items. One of them is a Disney item. So a couple of them actually are. So let's get started with those. So we're going to start with the thing that I think most of you care the least about, but I like them and so they're here. And yes, they are another Dirty Room Keychains, but not just one of them. Not just two of them, but three of them. Three new Another Dirty Room Keychains. These all just came in during the week. We've got Howard Johnson's Orange, Lipstick Red, not to be confused with One Night Stand Red, which I have shown in a previous video, and I believe is off over there. Off camera, I think, for the most part. No. Well, you probably can't see it because it's behind the other things. And then we have Continental Breakfast Yellow, numbers 37, 63, and 99. I don't think we have any duplicate numbers so far, which is nice. I know we have 36. And of course, the lowest number we have is number, 8? I think we got last week. It's like 8 or 9. It was a really, really low number. It should be hung over here. Yep, 9. It was in the Seaside Blue. And I really don't think realistically it's going to be possible to get much lower than that, because one, I'd have to be right on top of it when he releases them. And two, I know he keeps some of the lower numbers for himself, and I would assume for his coworkers there. So 9 may well be the lowest we can get. I still haven't got a 42 though. I'm still going for that 42. But I think I've got pretty much all of them he's released up to now, because I know the Howard Johnson's Orange and I think the Lipstick Red are both re-releases. So there presumably is somebody else out there with 37 and 63 in these colors as well. And as always, they're made out of the same material. They are all autographed by Mr. Bell, as they ought to be. And yep, I have quite a lot of these things now. If you are a patron of his on Patreon, he's actually been releasing a fair amount of new content there. Certainly more than he's been releasing on YouTube recently, and it's been some good stuff. I mean, it's clearly older stuff because it's still got Will Krapinski in some of them. But yeah, it's been good to see some new content from him, even if it is just old new content. All right. So I know, again, you guys are probably the least interested in this stuff, so let's be done with these, and we'll move on. I like them. They're for me, and if I'm spending my money, I'm going to do the things that I like. Yay! All right, next let's do our Funko Pops. We have 3 of them, and technically there's more than 3 because one of them has multiple in it, but we'll do them next, because none of them came from Shop Disney or Disney Store. And we'll start with one that's not Disney at all, which is this one, the Morton Salt Girl. She actually came from Box Lunch, because she is a Box Lunch exclusive. She's the Diamond Edition of the Morton Salt. She is the Diamond Edition of the Morton Salt Girl. And, yeah, I'm going to be honest, I got her mostly just because of the She's a Salty meme, which basically uses the exact same appearance, because it's the logo from the packages of Morton Salt. Yes, I for some reason now have a piece of Morton Salt memorabilia. But it's shiny. It's got glitter. It's a shiny. Let's, I suppose I should go into why I bought her. I bought her because when I went in to buy the child earlier in the week, they were doing a buy one, get one half off on like everything in the store, and I saw they still had a couple of her left, because I think this came out right before the, well, I think it came down during the first shutdown, so they got it in during the couple weeks that they were open in between shutdowns, and then, didn't sell out because they had to shut down again. But yeah, I got it for like $5, half off whatever they charge, $12.90, so $6, $6.50. And yep, she's a neat little thing. I do have kind of a weakness for the diamond edition ones, even though I know they're just coated in glitter. It's not like they're inherently more valuable. I just have a weakness for them. Let's take a closer look at her. Here she is, popped out of the box. The Box Lunch exclusive Diamond Edition Morton Salt Girl. Now, from the box, it was obvious that all the goldy bits are the glittery diamond stuff. But taking it out of the box, I can see a little more clearly, and it didn't show up so well in the box, at least not to me. And I don't know if it shows up on camera or not because of lighting. But the entirety of the surface of the umbrella, as well as the salt and the umbrella handle, are also glitter. They're just white glitter. The face and arms and legs, or the hands and legs, are not glittery. Yep, the top of the salt container is also glittery. Or I guess that's the bottom because it's leaking out the top, right? Yep, it's a cute little thing. It's part of they've been doing like a series of mascot kind of things now, which, I mean, there's a part of me that finds that to be more than a little bit cynical. That you're asking people to pay to have mascots of other products in their homes. But I mean, is that really any different than buying a Star Wars figure and putting that up in your home, advertising Star Wars? Not really. So if you really happen to be a fan of something, or the case of Morton here, being part of a meme, because you actually said on the box, if you remember in the original, the earlier footage here, it does actually say add icons on it. That's part of the line that she is. And she didn't show anybody else on the box. I guess they didn't want to have like other ads on the back of their ads. Who knows? Yep, but there she is. She's going to stay nice and safe in her box because she is a salty, salty woman. Alright, our next pop is neither from Shop Disney nor Disney Store. It's actually from Target, but it is Disney at least. It's the first one I've seen of the Haunted Mansion pops. I actually found her on the same day as I found the child. She was at Target. She was the only one they had. They didn't have Constance or, what is his name? Arthur Alexander. Also, I think it's interesting now that Constance, because I've heard over the years, people, or at least over the years since Constance got a name, that they thought that the Black Widow bride character in the stretching room, the one sitting on the tombstone, was in fact Constance. And of course now Disney has actually made that canon because it does say on here that that is Constance Hatchaway. Which is interesting because that means her ghost seems considerably younger than apparently how old she lived to be. But I guess that's ghosts, right? They can appear how they want. Yep, this is the maid, basically the female cast member uniform from the ride. And there's a bunch of pops coming out, because yeah, they didn't have either Alexander or Constance, and ideally, I'd rather find, like, I guess, what are the chase versions of them, where they're stretched more and you can see more of the tombstone and the TNT barrel. But given that those apparently are just chases and not variants, I was hoping they'd be, like, Hot Topic exclusives or something. Those are probably going to be pretty hard to find without spending a ton of money, so I may not bother with those. Oh, and of course, there's also the actual mansion itself coming out. There's the Victor Geist pop, which, if you can happen to catch the 5 minutes, that's available in Shop Disney. You can try and buy. Yep, let's take a closer look at the maid. Right, here she is, Pop 802, Disney The Haunted Mansion maid figure. Interesting thing compared to last year. So last year's pops, the boxes look very similar. But and it's probably horribly out of focus, isn't it? Put it behind. No, can't see it behind her. Let's do this. So this year's box says Disney The Haunted Mansion. Otherwise, it looks very similar to last year's pattern on it. But last year didn't say Disney. It just said The Haunted Mansion. And I wonder why that is. Also, I mean, the numbering scheme this year is not in line with last year's numbers. Because last year, like the Madame Leota on the shelf over there that you can kind of see in the picture, she's number 575, which I think the non-Parks version was as well. And the maid here's number 802, with Constance being 803 and Alexander being 804. So, yeah, there's no real continuity with them last year, but we're not close up here to talk about the box and the numbers. We're close to talk about the actual figure. And interesting, she's made out of a softer vinyl than I would have expected, and the mirror there is really, really floppy. One thing that's interesting about her, and I traditionally haven't opened a lot of pops, so maybe this is not abnormal, but she comes with a detachable base. And the problem with that is, only has like one little hole to put in one foot. And with the giant head, yeah, she does not want to stand up. So, I mean, she's definitely staying in her box. I mean, I wouldn't be putting her out on display like this, because just in setting up to take pictures of it like this, I've had to pick her up 6 times. Yep, she is modeled in, I think, a fairly accurate rendition of the female cast member uniforms. I think it's interesting that there's not... Well, I guess there's not a male cast member, but I think the male cast member actually comes with the mansion itself. So now she doesn't want to stand up anymore. So we can just stop messing with her, she'll stay put. All right. I believe the male cast member is coming with the actual mansion, which I see people pre-ordering for like $40. I think it's going to sell for probably 30 or 40. Surprisingly, Shop Disney has some images on their site of some of the Haunted Mansion items, but they don't have any of them up for sale or pre-order, which is, I think, weird. Except for Victor Geist, of course. Victor Geist occasionally phantasmically appears, plays his piano, and then goes away again. Sorry, organ. Yes, I know it's not a piano, it's an organ. And hopefully we'll be getting one of him in the coming weeks, in a future Morning Magic, Weekend Magic. It's Weekend Magic. I haven't written it down yet, but it's Weekend Magic. Yep, but there's our maid. Nice and detailed. Unfortunate that she just does not want to stand up, so if you're thinking of taking her out of the box, may not be the best idea. But I guess these just came out just this past week. I guess on Tuesday when I found her, they had just come out. They also had at Target, they had Zombie Hulk from the Marvel Zombies line, which I liked Marvel Zombies back when it first started. I'm going to try to avoid getting those, except for maybe Zombie Deadpool. But they really should have just made a Headpool pop and like put it on a stand, but so be it. All right, and our last pop item is this. See, it came from Funko. This is actually, it was a pre-order on Amazon. It's an Amazon exclusive edition. And I probably have it facing backwards, right? No, I don't. I have it facing the right way. And it is in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Walt Disney Archives. And it is basically, it's a pop version of that drawing of the various Mickeys drawing their next iteration. So we have Plain Crazy Mickey, Classic Mickey, Sorcerer Mickey, Beanstalk Mickey, and of course our modern Mickey Mouse. And they come on a nifty little Walt Disney Archive stand. Basically, if you've not seen that piece of art, I'll probably throw it up on the screen right here. I'll just steal it off the archive website for the purposes of displaying this. And this went up for pre-order a number of months ago. I want to say February or very early March when I pre-ordered this. And I recognized then one problem with it that's not prevalent in the piece of art, which is that in pop version, so, all right, the main difference between classic Mickey and modern Mickey is largely the eyes. I mean, there's some art style differences too, but when you turn them into a pop, where they all have the same body style, you also lose the difference of the eyes, which is that the newer Mickey has very different eyes than the classic Mickey. So when you turn them into pop form, they don't really look different. The only real difference I notice looking at them is the pants are a slightly different shade of red, and I want to say classic Mickey's feet are maybe a little bit poofier. We'll take a closer look at these, but I don't think I'm going to take it out of the package. I don't think it'll come out very easily. And I really don't want to damage it. It actually showed up in remarkably good condition, thanks to this lovely box they chose to include it in, which I've noticed that's sort of been a thing with Funko, is when you order stuff from them through Amazon at least, these bigger items, like the advent calendars, they do come wrapped in their own little cardboard cases, which does seem to do a very good job of keeping them in good condition. So yeah, let's take a closer look at these, and that will finish up our pops. Alright, so in spite of my better judgment, I have opened this set up so we can take a better look at it. It does say Walt Disney Archives, Preserving the Magic on the base, and kind of like with the Maid, they're just held on by little pegs. And I guess these are being sold separately as well. I think just the 5-pack is the Amazon exclusive, because the back of the box does list all these figures individually as being numbers 797 through 801. So you may be able to still find these separately, even if you can't get the 5-pack from Amazon, or maybe if you just want like Sorcerer Mickey here, and you don't want to explain to people why he's holding a pencil. Yeah, they may still be available that way, even if you can't get this. I don't know if this is still available through Amazon or not. Like I pre-ordered it months ago, and it just showed up this week. But looking at them this way, we can also get a little closer of a look at what I was talking about before, about the similarity between classic Mickey and modern Mickey. So as you can see, visually there is no real difference between them. They've both got a tail, they've both got just the pants and the shoes. Because again, the difference in the actual picture and the actual art style of the two of them is largely in the eyes. So on here, all we really have as difference is that I really think his pants are a slightly different color of red. And you can see side by side, his shoes are definitely taller, his feet are bigger. Not bigger, like, you know, footprint size, but taller, they're thicker feet. But so that does, the pop aesthetic does unfortunately ruin some of the effect of the artwork. But I mean, I think it's not something, you know, you can't live with. But of course, the thing that really made me want to get it is Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, because how can you not? I don't think, I missed out on the big fancy Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey one that had like the, I think it was the stairs under it, or maybe the water wave under it. I never got that one. So I think this is the only Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey that I do have. And it's a nice one. Again, he's the question of, you know, if you have them separately, why he's holding a pencil. But it's a very nicely sculpted figure. And, well, I guess it's a good thing these are going to ultimately go back in the box, because they do not seem to want to stay up as I take things on and off of their bases. Of course, lining up the little slot in the foot is also a thing. Well, I guess since he fell off, we might as well take a close look at him. Here's our Jack and the Beanstalk, or sorry, Mickey and the Beanstalk Mickey, dressed in his little tailor outfit from Mickey and the Beanstalk. I wonder why they focus on that one so much. Was that, I mean, I remember that one. Was it 6 in 1 blow? I think was the thing in that gets him in trouble. I don't remember that being like a standout short compared to lots of other things. I mean, obviously, you know, our basic Mickeys are standouts because they're the way he was normally represented. Sorcerer's Apprentice is because of, you know, Fantasia, but yeah, I don't really get why Mickey and the Beanstalk over something else. Those are Plain Crazy Mickey. Some of them seem like to do stuff with the Plain Crazy one too. I guess because it's early one. Again, I don't know why you would do Plain Crazy and not like Steamboat Willie, which I think is much more iconic of a Mickey short than Plain Crazy. But what do I know? I'm not the people from the Walt Disney Archives. I assume they know their stuff. This is the last time this set is ever going to be out of the box. I'm going to go put it back in the box now before I wreck anything. Okay, so next I think we'll do our Disney Store items. Yep, they reopened on Tuesday morning. I was very surprised to see. I went in there just to get some walking in, and they were open, and I was like the second person to buy anything from them in months. And they had a bunch of the ink and paint stuff, so we'll start looking at the bag itself. Yeah, they had a whole display of the ink and paint items. Some of them good, some of them I wasn't interested in. Some of them my wife were interested in, so we got them for her. Most of our Disney Store stuff here is stuff that my wife picked out. The only things I think really that I got, there's some pins in there that I liked as well, and I probably would have picked up anyways. But I also picked up some toy box figures that were on clearance, and they'll be in their own video at some point probably. I don't generally do toy box in Weekend Magic, formerly Magic in the Mail. One of the things about the ink and paint bag, aside from just having Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey on it, which is something I always have a weak spot for, I actually did pick the bag out myself. That was not prompted by anybody else. But you have all the neat little drawings on the side. You have Merlin, and I don't know how many of them are showing on the page here. Yeah, Merlin's on there. Merlin and Lady and the Tramp, and got 101 Dalmatians with a Pongo, and I don't remember the other one's name. We've got Baloo dressed as a monkey, the penguins from Mary Poppins, Alice, Cinderella, and the Prince, Shere Khan. Yep, lots and lots of characters on here. Oh, they repeat. Wow, we've got Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox. Now that's interesting, given that Disney is currently trying to erase all signs that they ever existed. They still included them on here. I sort of appreciate the fact that they're still acknowledging it as an important part of Disney history while trying to not acknowledge that it ever actually existed to begin with. So what all did we get from the Disney store? Well, we've got a spoon with a spoon rest. It was, what, $16.99? I don't think it was on sale. They had a bunch of stuff already on sale because during the 5 days they were open between shutdowns, they received a bunch of new stuff, and they had just received a bunch of summer stuff and back to school stuff, and they didn't get a chance to put much of it out. So they put it all out now. So if you want to get some towels, because it is still, 90-something degrees outside at 10 in the morning, it's still plenty of time to use that beach towel if you can, find a beach that has enough space on it to go to it safely. And even then, if you have a pool, hey, there's a need for towels there. And of course, you can always save it for next year. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about this, the spoon. It's a spoon with a spoon rest, with a little Mickey cutout in the spoon itself. Now, my wife actually ordered one of these from Shop Disney, but apparently they did some sort of an upgrade on her website, and a bunch of orders disappeared out of people's accounts. They supposedly still exist and will still ship, but since we can't verify what happened with her order of this, and they had it in the store, we picked one up. The person at the store had a neat suggestion, which is to use the Mickey here as kind of a stencil for things like, let's say you're making mashed potatoes, you want to sprinkle on a little paprika or something in the shape of Mickey Mouse. You can use it as a stencil, which I thought was a really cute idea. Just a basic wooden spoon, though, with a ceramic spoon rest. I've seen people who had ordered these on Shop Disney complain that theirs showed up broken. So another good reason to buy them from the Disney store if your store is open and has them. What do we have next in here? We have this, a key ring holder. To all who come to this happy place, welcome. And it's got little, it could be him and her. They're not gendered. They're both Mickeys. There's not one that's clearly a Minnie. So it could be as him and her, or it could just be for whatever random thing. This is the only one they have in the store. I'm not sure. I guess it must have been a store item because it has an actual price on it. And the park stuff seems to not usually. But it was the only one they had. They had it in the pin area. It's something my wife had wanted to pick. Oh no, because it is Disney Parks. It says Disney Parks were right on it. So it must have been a website return to the store. My wife actually tried to buy one of these on Shop Disney, but they sold out and never came back up. And she's got one now. I don't know what we'll do with it or where we'll put it, but it's a nice thing, and it's got the saying on it, and that's a nice thing too. Next up, what's this down in here? There's only a couple more things in this bag. Got some pins. Alice in Wonderland pins. And they were conveniently already on clearance. I think they were brand new to them, but they're already marked down to $10 from the original price of $15. And you've got, I'll be honest, I don't remember that cat. I'm guessing that's just Alice's cat from the beginning, but I have little recollection of that cat. I guess I need to watch Alice in Wonderland again. But you got a pin of Alice. I'm so not ordinary. She's a quirky girl. She's not like other girls. We've got Cheshire Cat. What does he say on him? Hypnotic looks and charm. I wonder if that pin actually turns on the backing at all. Just because it seems like it should, doesn't it? The way it's sideways, but it doesn't want to move. I don't think I'm going to take these out of the plastic, but we'll take a closer look at them. So let's do that. Okay, here we are for a closer look at our Alice in Wonderland pins. So normally $14.99, but Disney Store had them for $9.98, marked down to get rid of them, and they were part of the Oh My Disney line. And I was right in my my thought that this was a spinner pin. It just, I thought the head spun, and no, the head stays upright. The part that says hypnotic looks and charm, that's the bit that spins. Then we have our quirky girl Alice, I'm so not ordinary. And the cat with the little flowers on it, which is cute. And they're all double backed. So if you do put them onto something, you've had to wear them and take them off the card, which I don't know that I will. Even if I put them on a display thing, I kind of like the card. So I think I probably will leave them on the card. But if you put them on something, they're going to stay both in the direction you want them to, and hopefully just stay period, because if one back falls off, the other will hopefully hold it long enough for you to address the issue. But that's them. I don't know how available these are in Disney stores that weren't shut down a second time, but they're available in mine here in California, where a lot of our malls were shut down again. I think there's only one more thing in our Disney store bag here. Yep, and that is this. The ink and paint ears. So I think it's fair to say that Minnie Mouse, the main attraction, has kind of gotten my wife into these ears a little bit more than she was before. Previously, the only of these style ears we had were ones that were given to us as gifts. Like, she has a Star Wars one, I have a Haunted Mansion one. I think she has a couple other ones that were given to her. But with the main attraction ears and trying to actually get a hold of those, which we're only missing 2 of them right now. So we're not doing awful. And, you know, they both tend to pop up on the website reasonably frequently, or at least regularly. But I went to the store and they had a bunch of these in there. So I picked one up for, yep, it's the ink and paint ears. It's going to have that same ink and paint aesthetic of like the bag here. And the ink and paint key, of course, which goes with these, despite never being sold in the stores. But it's got the crossed brushes, it's got a little painter's palette with little Mickey daubs of paint on it. And of course you've got things like Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey and Dumbo and Pinocchio and Mr. Toad. And lots of classic Disney characters, back when things were made with ink and paint instead of with computers. And this very satiny feel to them, plastic brushes and palette. And of course, the big long tag, which if you cut off to make it look better when you wear it, you've then kind of damaged the item. But I don't think a lot of people really are wearing these. This will probably go up on a wall at some point. Obviously, we have to do something with all these ears that we now have. But it's a nice set of ears. One size fits all, of course. No sayings on the inside this time, not like with our Haunted Mansion ones. And yep, that's going to finish off our Disney store items. Alright, we're nearing the end here. Let's go on to our Shop Disney items. Yeah, my wife ordered me one of these, the child bags. I think it's like $4 or $5. It, of course, says The Mandalorian on the side. And what, season 2 of that's supposed to come out, what, next month? October? Next month from when I'm recording this anyways. So that should be fun. Especially because they've shown on the posters, they've shown they're going to be including what looks to be Ahsoka. Well, obviously it's Ahsoka. But also the poster looks to feature maybe Rex and Sabine. So I really am hoping we're going to see more of the like Rebels and Clone Wars type of characters popping up in this one. Also, you know, because it's not 100% clear what became of them after the end of those series. We have our The Child bag. And in our The Child bag, we have, yes, more masks. We've got more masks. My wife picked out these ones. These ones, we each got a set of these. But we have Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. I think Minnie Mouse is in here too, but some new Mickey designs. And then these are the Parks ones. I guess these are being sold at Florida individually. And there's 4 different ones in here. And of course, we'll get Mr. Skullhead out and we'll take a closer look at them. We'll do that now. All right, so now that these are open, it looks like these are actually all Mickey Mouse masks, I guess because the Mickey and Minnie pack was really more Minnie than Mickey. Or at least when I have both of them on it, chances are it's probably going to appeal more towards female wearers than male wearers if it has Minnie on it. As where Mickey is kind of just the standard and I think goes for either gender. We have kind of a nice black mask. Not sure if that's... It looks almost like there's some like weak spots in the dye job on it. I don't know, maybe that's like dust from something or that's intentional. But you have a nice little pseudo psychedelic Mickey on the front there. These are the extra large size again, because I mean, now that they have those, why would you get anything else? Or at least why would I get anything else? Or my wife? Because these do fit quite nicely compared to even the larges and compared to pretty much anything else we've picked up to now. Only I will say, because I've been wearing the Marvel ones, is I feel like I might get a little more overheated, maybe because there's more fabric and it covers more of my face. It do feel like I'm getting warmer a little bit faster. That could also just be me. That could be entirely my own physiology. But there is our first mask. And here is our second Mickey Mouse mask. This one's kind of like a 90s vibe to me, probably because of the little red and yellow things in the background blue. Kind of gives me like a Saved by the Bell vibe a little bit. Kind of like the 90s Mickey Mouse memory plush did the same sort of thing to me. And yeah, but it's just cute little Mickey showing his entire range of emotions, from happy to unhappy to coy to telling gossip. But yep, cute mask, white, so it will show dirt a little bit easier maybe than some of the other ones. I like the black one better than this so far. Mask number 3 is more of your modern Mickey with the little Pac-Man eyes saying, "Oh boy," and the words Mickey Mouse all over it. Yep, it's a cute little Mickey mask. I still like that first one better so far. There's one more. Maybe the last one will impress me more. But I like that first one the best so far, I think. Although this one is got a nice style to it. And you can show off your Disney fandom while also keeping your germs to yourself. And the final mask from the Mickey set shows Mickey apparently just out for a walk on a normal California day during wildfire season. I mean, at least that's what that looks like to me. It looks like all the smoke that's outside. Only thing missing is the red sun and the occasional flurries of ash. That's another nice, cute little design. I guess one of the neat things about it have this sort of faux, worn look to it. I mean, one, it gives it kind of an older style Mickey look, because it is Mickey with the solid eyes, not the pie wedge eyes. But also, it's gonna, like, be a little harder to tell if it's getting worn. At least the color-wise. If it gets worn physically, obviously that'll be pretty obvious pretty quickly. But it looks like it's already a little aged, a little well-used, a little vintage. I don't know, is that the clothes? That's the term we use for clothes, right? Vintage, we have vintage clothes. Looks like it's a little well-loved already, but still in perfect condition. And these are made of the same stuff as all the other Disney masks so far. The multiple layers of fabric, the good thick ears and over the nose part. And yeah, they do a good job of covering the nose and all the way under the chin for somebody with a huge head like mine. Of course, I can wear it without it being in my eyes like Scully here has to, because I have an actual nose. And of course, he has a gaping hole where one should be. And now we start with the Parks assortment, containing 4 classic Disney attractions. Our first one here being, of course, the Enchanted Tiki Room, featuring some of the birds and a little bit of a tiki idol. Just little bits of them here and there. They don't get the full view like the birds do. But I mean, you don't so much go to the Tiki Room for the tikis, you go for the birds as they sing for you. Yep, it's a cute little mask. Not a huge fan of green, but it is the Tiki Birds, and that, I think, makes that okay. And then the next one is the classic ride, It's a Small World. And it's got kind of the bright colors. It's got the little hippopotamus and a penguin. And it says hello. And it's a nicer shade of blue. I like the color better than the green for the Tiki Room. The only thing that I see as an issue with this is people might mistake the fact that it says hello as an invitation to start a conversation with me, which it most certainly is not. Now, this next one is not actually for an individual ride, but actually for an entire land. This is the Tomorrowland mask, because you have like Space Mountain on there, and it looks like those are the big chocolate chip cookie meteors from Space Mountain. And you got the rocket, what was it? That was Journey to the Moon, I think, originally. And I assume just to make people upset, you have people mover cars. I know there are some people, I think Offhand Disney, if you haven't watched his stuff, I encourage you to go check out his channel. But I think he's one of the ones that really would like them to bring back the people mover. Because, yeah, it was a nice, relaxing ride. I mean, obviously, I haven't been on it since I was a small child. But I do remember it being a completely unobjectionable ride That would be nice if they returned it, if they hadn't ruined the tracks with the rocket rods, which was not a ride worth the wait. Yep, the entirety of Tomorrowland, minus the Star Wars-y and Buzz Lightyear bits, is represented. So basically, classic Tomorrowland is represented with the Astro Orbiter. Although I think those are more of like the original style ride vehicles. So it's very much a retro Tomorrowland mask. But it's a nice one. It's a nice mask. The color's not bad. And I think this is the only one of the Disney ones I think we've had so far that you could theoretically wear this and people might not realize it's Disney. Unless they like recognize, Space Mountain's probably the most recognizable thing on here. But yeah, I could see wearing this and have people not realize what it's supposed to be. Of course, naturally, I have saved the best mask for last. We have our Haunted Mansion wallpaper mask. Yes, I think one of my horrible, useless garbage TeePublic masks was this same pattern. Only this one actually fits a human being's face who's not 5 years old. Yep, this is obviously my favorite one of the set. This is the one that, it didn't really matter what else. The rest of them could have been princesses. I still would have bought this set to get the Haunted Mansion mask out of it. Yep, it's nice. It's purple, which is not a color I'm normally into, but it's the Haunted Mansion, and I think that makes it okay. This is probably the one out of the set that will get the most actual use, especially as we get, over the next month and a half, as we get closer and closer to Halloween. Of course, Shop Disney has some Halloween masks up for pre-order. It's like a 2-pack of Mickey and Minnie Halloween masks, and yes, naturally, I have pre-ordered them. They aren't supposed to ship, I think, until middle of September, so another week or two. So they will be in a future video. And of course, this is part of my desire to have something Haunted Mansion in every video, or every one of the Weekend Magic videos anyways, leading up to Halloween. This week we had our mask and, of course, the maid. Right, we're down to our last 2 items now. Probably the 2 that you're most interested in watching if you're watching this video. So let's take them out now. We've got Minnie's. Not one. Oops, they can get her out. Come on, come out. But 2. Minnie Mouse, the main attraction plush. Let's get that bag out of the way now. We've got our Peter Pan plush and our King Arthur's Carousel plush. And yep, I think they obviously are going to need to get some closer looks. So let's go ahead and do that. Here's a closer up look at our Peter Pan Minnie. I think I've already read the contents of this card. Yeah, it's the same ones that were in the ears. We've already got the ears. So there's no reason to read that again. Since it's become a question, I've had people ask, or a person ask, because their, I think it was the Mad Hatter's Tea Party plush, didn't have a tail. Yes, she does have a tail. I don't know why that one didn't. And she showed up in pretty decent condition. Here's a good look at the bow. It's got the ship sailing through the sky on it. An interesting thing on this bow compared to some of the other ones is this one actually is affixed to the ear, like more closely than the other minis have been. So it kind of pushes her ear back, or you kind of squish the bow if you try to push it forward too far. So it gives her kind of a lopsided ear look, because of course the other one here wants to sit forward. And part of that may have just been how it was cramped up in shipping. These 2 were not shipped particularly well. This one was shipped in a roomy enough box, but didn't have any plastic around it or anything. There was no cushioning in the bag. And of course on here on the foot you see Series 6 of 12. Very satiny shoes. We have kind of similar to what I remember were on the meshy part of the ears. We have Peter and Tink leading the 3 kids over the skies of London. And of course, gotta give at least like a cursory look for any hidden Mickeys. And yeah, none are leaping out at me on here. You'd think in all these stars there would be some hidden, but it may also just depend on what part of the fabric you end up getting. I'm not seeing. Chances are, though, on the video you probably are seeing one and going, no, it's right there, you blind idiot, how can you not see that? Yeah, I don't I don't see anything that I would qualify as a hidden Mickey on here, or I guess maybe a hidden Minnie, since it's Minnie. It's got a nice bluish tint to the fabric, nice and soft. The satiny dress, and like, was it taffeta, I think is what that's called, maybe? Or taffeta-like, I'm sure it's not real taffeta. Yep, she's a nice one, and I think the blue makes her visually one of the nicer ones. I mean, I still think I like Space Mountain the best, but I do like her. She's definitely close in just overall aesthetic to that. Of course, obviously the one I'm going to like the most, assuming we can get a hold of it, is October's Haunted Mansion one, because, you know, the Haunted Mansion. Our King Arthur mini here is one I think had like the roughest time getting here. She was crammed in a box that was way too small for her, and as a result, some of the little flags on her dress have gotten a little kinked. My wife tried to like knock them out with a steamer, and there was a certain amount of success to it. But yeah, that may take some work to get out. Of course, you can't just put an iron on that, because it is kind of a plasticky material, and you don't want to melt it and ruin it entirely. Her flower on her dress is a little smushed. It probably should be a little more open towards the front. Again, with a little work, we might be able to get that, coax that into shape. She's got the bow on top. Of course, I can't compare her to the ears because we haven't received those yet, but we did manage to order a set that haven't yet been canceled, at least not that we've been told. But see, unlike the Peter Pan one, this one isn't affixed so close to the ear, so her ear can stand up more straight. This one's affixed more like right above her eyebrow. And I think that's a better way to go with these. I'm a little surprised on the Peter Pan one, they didn't put Tinkerbell up there like they did on the ears. I mean, I know the ship is more indicative of the ride, but I'm just surprised they didn't do more with Tinkerbell on there, just to go for those Tinkerbell fans. And of course, we've got the kind of satiny. No, I think it's a little bit thicker than that. Maybe that is more like what actual taffeta is. I really don't know. But a thicker satiny dress, and yes, a tail. If you want to see a Mickey skirt, if you don't, warning, about 10 seconds ago, I did a shot of Minnie skirt. But she's also got kind of a blue and white look. I don't like the coloring as much as I do the Peter Pan one. But overall, it's a well-designed dress. I wish these had been maybe out of a material that didn't hold a kink so easily, given how they were going to be shipped. But of course, when they were designed, they probably thought that most of them would be sold in stores. But I think even in stores, this still would have been an issue, because they ship them there in just boxes full of them. And she is, of course, number 7 of 12. So we do actually have, we have 7 of the plush in our possession. And of course, the 8th plush, Dumbo, is put on hold until sometime next year. But I do have a merch pass for that one, so that shouldn't be a difficulty to get. It just means until that comes out, we will have a hole in the collection. So we're doing well on those. I think we have all the pins, at least on order, and on their way. And of course, we're still missing the Tiki Room ears and the Dumbo ears. We haven't been able to secure a set of Dumbo ears yet. But, you know, this stuff still pops up on Shop Disney, so there's always hope. Yep, it's another nice plush. The hands are very, very soft. I guess it's the same fabric as on the face, but because the hands are squishier, it feels softer than the face does. And, yeah, Peter Pan's hands feel the same. It's just me not paying enough attention to detail until after the fact. Oh, but I haven't read her card yet. Let's read her card, because we haven't done a King Arthur item yet. Round and round, up and down, travel by steed or chariot on one of our whimsically designed carousel rides. Each intricately crafted seat is set against a reeling backdrop of captivating colors and musical merriment. Hang on for a delightful whirl on this classic attraction. And then the same again, but in French. And then we show some artwork. Yep, one of the little carousel horses. Very cute. Very nice. I'm going to say so far, there really haven't been any of these that I would qualify as an actual disappointment. Which is nice. I mean, especially given that last year's Disney Wisdom was not fantastic. And of course, also just the fact that Shop Disney in particular this year has been delivering disappointment more regularly than they have virtually anything else. That's my jab for Shop Disney for this week. Alright, so I think it's going to wrap us up for Weekend Magic for this week. Obviously, spent a little more than we probably should have this week on things, and other things just came in, like these two had already been ordered and just showed up. But yeah, the mall reopening may have gone a little bit mad there. But, yeah, no, I mean, this would have been where I should be right now when you're watching this, if you're assuming you're watching this the day I post it. Right now, I should be at the SacAnime convention, but of course, we don't have that this year. So, yeah, I mean, I guess really it's just money I would have spent there instead. I spent at the mall. But, you know, that's the way it is. That's the way it is right now. I do hope you found this at all interesting. I hope you found some interesting bits about something I've shown in here, something struck your fancy. Some of it's available, some of it isn't. Good luck to you if you're trying to get a hold of any of it, especially if you're trying to get a hold of any of the things from Shop Disney. And I thank you for watching. If you did like the video at all, please make sure that you give it a like and subscribe to the channel so that you can see all the other stupid things I post. And I will see you in the next video.